Good evening, everybody. Simon here, Explosive Action, back for the Heavy Metallurgy to do 2 album reviews tonight. I'm going to be talking about Engulfed with Unearthly Litanies of Despair and Apparition with Disgraced Emanations from a Tranquil State. Engulfed are a 4-piece out of Turkey, originally forming in 2010 as a 3-piece. The band released their first debut 4-track demo Through the Eternal Damnation of crushing death metal. It wasn't until 2017 that Serkan, Aberrant and Mustafa would release their first full-length, Engulfed in Obscurity, a release that saw a razor edge being added into the mix of their sound. It was 2020's EP Vengeance of the Fallen that saw the band reach further into the dark, producing another 4 tracks of death metal that was finding more influence from Greece's Dead Congregation. Now, in April 2024, Engulfed add a second guitarist named Khan to the role and released their second full-length Unearthly Litanies of Despair. Opening with a clean guitar lick that builds up distorted madness in the abyss of death's obscurity is the true mission statement of this album. Pummeling drums and driving dual tremolo guitars with a savage tone to them. The core of this and most of the music on the album is meat and potatoes death metal, done with supreme speed and dexterity. Brief passages slowing to a 1-2 beat or a swarming mass of double kicks and wild guitar solos. The vocals are putrid, some of the deepest in the game right now, and are very benefiting to the music. This is riff salad, folks, and a very tasty one. Voidwalker's Dominion comes in deceptively slow with drawn-out angular guitar chords over a blast beat and those demonically deep vocals. The ferocity is soon found and rapid-fire double bass accompanies. There's a quality dive bomb at the end of a solo causing me to grin from ear to ear. The last half sees the song drop to a slow headbang that would cause devastation in the pit. Another crazy lead guitar riff bordering on the bestial, and the 3.5 minutes of this song is over with a deep breath. The third track, Echoes of Suffering, feels older, a more rooted in 90s death metal, a la Immolation type song as it begins. Big choppy riffs with room to breathe. Vocally, if you're one that wants enunciation in your death metal, you won't be finding it with Engulfed. The blasts then come in at the midpoint, the riffs even choppier, palm muted to perfection. The final third crushes in its switch to Death Doom. Fourth track and my personal favorite, Blasphemous Despair, sure is blasphemic from that introductory riff, almost touching upon the savagery of black metal. But make no mistake, this is blasphemous fire of death metal fury. Not 1, not 2, but 3 guitar solos, crazed, join in on this brief 4 minutes of fury together, and remains probably the most devastating track on the album. The only time to take a breath is the clean guitar outro that fades us away. Infernal Desolation's opening riff drinks deep from the Morbid Angel well, by way of Dead Congregation. This is a more stripped-back song, perhaps a response to the previous Blasphemous Despair. No less heavy, there's a touch more air in these riffs and room for the drums to experiment with more fills and D-beat. Punishingly heavy with more measured attack, but we still get a swathe of dive bombs. Holy hell, the opening staccato riff on Cursed Eternity made me jump out of my seat. Absolute sonic devastation, the bass guitar this time really adding weight and power to that choppy riff. The core of this song is a double bass line with an Immolation style riff, even their patented pinch harmonics making an appearance. I found my feet involuntarily tapping away as this song played. At the midpoint, the expansive void of eternity is revealed itself, slowing the music down, all the instruments at their most dynamic. A dive bomb note is tantalizingly held in front of me. before the fiery riffs take hold again, ending with the same sonically destroying riff that opened the song. Seventh track, Ancient Abyssal Conquest, is of course in familiar territory to those that came before it. There's a fair bit more straightforward drum beats in this one. I'm even hearing a touch of Floridian in this mix. The last third takes the heaviest moments of Bolt Thrower, refines them through a Turkish lens. The eighth and final track, Occult Incantations, is the longest on the album at nearly 8 minutes. This one stands out as also the slowest and the heaviest. The first minute's dedicated to building up a brooding atmosphere of evil, only speeding up a little, the swirling riffs progressing you towards this incantation. At this pace, with these vocals, I start seeing similarities to the early works of Depressy from Slovakia, a band I've not thought about in many, many years. Thick and dense, this heaviness fades away to 3 minutes of well-planned and executed clean guitars, dripping with emotion. Unearthly Litanies of Despair is now complete. This is the kind of quality death metal that you're coming to expect from members of Hyperdontia, Burial Invocation, and Diabolizer. Diabolizer being the key comparison here for me. But I also hear the likes of Ataraxy and Grave Miasma in these songs. The addition of a second guitar player was the best thing that Engulfed could have done to really take their music to the next level. It's an exhausting listen, but in the best possible way. I would love a chance to see Engulfed live one day, because this is easily the band's best work. Unearthly Litanies of Despair gets 2 blasphemic thumbs up from me. Available now on CD and cassette from Dark Descent Records, and on vinyl from MSUO. Californian death doom band Apparition released their first demo on cassette in 2019, Subarachnoid Space. 3 tracks of muddy and raw but intricate death metal. Following this up quickly in 2020 with their 2-track EP, Granular Transformation, the band improved their production as well as their performance. 2021 saw the release of their debut full-length entitled Feel. This was one of the year's highlights for me, filling the void left by Tomb Mold when they followed a more technical path. Now in 2024, Apparition released their sophomore album, Disgraced Emanations from a Tranquil State. The opening riffs of Asphyx Creation are a bludgeoning force, with staccato drums and booming deep gutturals making their presence known straight away. The song proceeds for a minute with a structure picking up very much like Incantation, with a tremolo riff along the way. A short foot-stomping section comes and goes briefly, returning us to the faster first riff with an angular solo laid over the top. Thick double kick drums and a dissonant Blood Incantation style passage see us windmilling up the front of the show. The band take a deep breath towards the end of this song to bring us to the first dulcet chugging tones of Funeral Doom on the album so far, but definitely it won't be the last. The second track, Imminent Expanse of Silence and Not, or Not, is as complex as its title. It opens with a down-tuned chugging riff and fast snare hits, but this quickly gives way to that familiar churning double kick with tremolo that I come to love. There's a fantastic moment a minute into this song when nothing plays but a short, looped riff. Then the drums crash in on the offbeat, instantly causing my neck to hurt. There's a lot of squealy harmonics in this song, but not used in the Dimebag Darrell kind of way. These are otherworldly in their production. Again, this song features a monstrous sounding death doom passage with occult, simple keyboard notes and drums alternating from the crawling, drawn out crashes to blast beats. This lead once again takes us on a journey to the final third, filling it home with a more progressive band such as Cynic. But the highlight again is a repeat of that brief breakdown from earlier that comes out of nowhere and again hurts my neck. The last minute of this song ends with what could be loosely described as free jazz world music filtered through metal guitars. The opening riff on the third track, Paradoxism, is straight from Gateways to Annihilation era Morbid Angel. But more than once, this song feels very loose and almost improvised. Sludgy, slimy, majorly dissonant, with drum fills aplenty. It is anchored to this main riff, but it certainly plays around the edges. After an obscure lead guitar passage, the churning double bass kicks in for more traditional dark death metal midsection. The doom is not far away, and again it is amplified with the use of single note picking clean guitars a la Disembowelment. That same almost sorrowful sounding lead guitar with an ever evolving percussion leads us to another progressive piece. The fourth track, Excruciating Refuge in Reoccurring Torment, great title, opens with another forward chugging riff, feeling like it could have come off of Alter's latest album. After a few rounds, this song grinds down the gears for a crawling doom passage again, intermingled with sporadic blasts and tom fills. This album as a whole has quite the dynamic range, and always keeps things interesting. A lush, harmonized guitar lead takes shape, bringing us into another very late 90s period Morbid Angel, the guitar almost aping Triadzik Toad himself. Drummer Andrew Morgan is also the vocalist, and a feat this I cannot imagine, seeing him do this live, given how complicated some of the drum work is here. His gutturals match the music perfectly. The fifth track, Inner Altitude's Light Transference, is a sub 3-minute experimental instrumental similar to the ending of that second track. Likely laid down in one take as a band, I can't quite tell if I'm hearing whammied guitar or a horn. The drums are seemingly playing their own piece, separate, all while fuzzed out guitar noise underpins everything. The final track, Circular Kate, is an absolute force, coming in at the fastest pace yet, with blistering drums and tremolo giving us pure death metal fury. It's multiple minutes before any vocals come in, and at that time the pace drops in half to a swampy meander. There's a clean break in the middle with undistorted guitars and very light drums, a kind of segue Opeth would have given us in their more metal days. The finale to this track sees the vocals take on a snarling rasp for the first time, the addition of a solid melodic death metal kind of riff not far removed from the works of early At the Gates. Thunderous floor toms and single hit cymbals repeat, ending us with a drum roll to guitar feedback. I can see fans of later Void Ceremony enjoying Apparition as much as fans of Blood Incantation, later Morbid Angel, and dark death metal in general. 5 lengthy, exploratory tracks with 2 eclectic instrumentals. Time will tell if Disgraced Emanations from a Tranquil State is the better of the 2 full lengths, but for now, it is at least on par with Feel. The album is available now on Profound Law Records, and comes highly recommended. I hope you enjoyed my double Sophomore album release review here of the new ones from Engulfed and Apparition, 2 quality death metal bands and albums that you should be checking out. If you like this review, make sure you like and subscribe. Check out the other reviews I've done on the heavy metallurgy and the other reviews of my peers. Check me out at Explosive Action, and I'll see you next time.